The wetlands of Somerset are some of our most valuable wild areas. They're absolutely teeming with rare species. And in this programme, I'm really looking forward to having a look and see what's here. In this series, I'm visiting some of Britain's most outstanding areas of natural beauty to explore the fascinating wildlife that have made these places their home. There are just a few lowland wetlands left in Britain, and this is one of the most important in the world. The Somerset Levels are a vital stopover for migrating birds and one of the largest feeding grounds in Europe. While I'm here, I'm hoping to see herons and egrets, perhaps a bird of prey like a marsh harrier, and maybe even a glimpse of one of our most elusive animals. If I'm lucky, and I mean really lucky, I might be able to glimpse the resident otters, but in this landscape with all this vegetation, that is going to be incredibly difficult. The wetlands are fed by 8 rivers and lie just 3 metres above sea level in lowlands between the Mendip and Quantock Hills. This low, flat terrain was once prone to flooding, and the meadows and fields here are crisscrossed with ditches, streams and rivers. It's an essential lifeline for the wildlife here. And with so much water, there's only one way to travel. Without a doubt, the best way to see wetlands is from a boat, and there's no better boat for that than the canoe. For me, gliding silently through these tranquil waters is just about the perfect way to spend a day. I can keep very quiet and get really close to the wildlife. This is the real magic of a canoe. The moment you get onto the water, you cease to be an alien exploring the environment from afar. You become intimate with the nature, the water, everything. Just over there, there's a lot of burreed leaves there, matted down. That's an old great-crested grebe's nest. Dragonflies going crazy, mating, absolutely life everywhere, and it just reminds me how important these wetlands are in terms of habitat. Peat has been dug from this boggy land since the Roman times, right up to the 1990s. This, along with thousands of years of drainage and grazing, has created an open landscape with pockets of fen, mire and reed beds. This greater reed mace, which grows naturally here, thrives in these shallow waters and has really taken hold since peat digging was stopped. This plant here is an incredible source of food. Very often people mistake it for bulrush. And at this time of year, this part here if I can break it. Wrapped in these leaves here is the tender young flowering spike of the plant. This can be cooked like sweet corn and just steamed. Quite tasty. You can also eat it raw. Doesn't taste half bad. You see this one here is still yellow. That's covered in pollen, and that pollen is good and edible, and I want to collect some of that, so I'm going to bend that over into this bag. We're getting some now, that's good. Remarkably, a single reed mace flower can produce as many as 200,000 seeds, which in the winter is a useful supply of food for birds. Oh yeah, that's looking quite good. I've got enough in there anyway to make a small drop scone or something like that. Of course,
If this was a much bigger area of reed mace, you could very quickly fill a whole sack full. And maybe our ancestors were doing that in this area long ago.
As well as supplying the bird life with food, these waterways also provide their transport, shelter, and protection from predators. This is one of the best places in the country to observe birds in their natural habitat.
Without a doubt, the golden rule for seeing any sort of wildlife is about being quiet and particularly still and unobserved. You can use camouflage, you can use fieldcraft, but also you can use hides. Wow, this is lovely. That's fantastic. Wow. Little egret. That's a beautiful bird. It seems to be snatching insects, snatching at dragonflies by the looks of it.
These elegant little egrets are mainly fish eaters, but will also eat small frogs and insects. They're expert hunters. Watching them hunt is like watching a deadly ballet being played out.
That is an incredible, graceful bird.
When they kill, their dagger-like bill is extremely effective and accurate.
It's wonderful to watch. It's absolute, master of stalking in water. It's a lesson in the art.
Sharing these shallow waters is a sole grey heron. Like the egret, it hunts by patiently stalking and striking rapidly when prey comes into range.
He was going along, and all of a sudden, he took his neck and he made it into look straight ahead. Over there. Amazing.
Herons breed in colonies called heronries, in trees close to water. This nearby woodland provides the ideal nesting habitat. The branches of these mature oaks are strong enough to hold the weight of their heavy nests high up in the thick canopy. Tony Whitehead from the RSPB has been keeping a careful eye on these wonderful birds.
It feels like being in the rainforest, Tony, looking up here into the canopy. For the herons here, you see a youngster there just sitting on that nest.
That's right.
The heronries are used by successive generations. These juveniles are just beginning to stretch their wings, but not with any confidence yet.
You've got one on a nest and another youngster nearby. They don't look quite too sure of themselves, clinging onto the branches, but a little bit awkward.
It is astonishing how long it takes before the birds can actually leave the nest, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it takes a while. I mean, these are big birds, slow metabolisms. It takes them a while to mature.
When herons nest, they always congregate like this. But when you see them in the wild, you very often see them in solitary.
They hunt solitary, they don't hunt in groups, but they're very, very colonial species like this one here. And this heronry alone, you've got it's 85 nests.
What's the survival rate?
It depends on the weather. And it's quite interesting. Hard winters really affect these birds, and so it'd be interesting to see at the end of the breeding season what the numbers are like this year and whether this hard winter has been hard enough to have actually affected them.
Hopefully, under the watchful eye of the RSPB, this colony will continue to thrive for many years to come. These wetlands have a worldwide reputation for bird life, but the surrounding boggy land can also throw up some unexpected surprises.
On a hot summer's day like this, it's lovely to take your shoes and socks off and walk barefoot in the peat here that's lovely and cooling. But you have to be careful where you tread, because bogs like this often have the title featherbed, and for good reason. You can suddenly find yourself very deep in. You can see that could cause you a bit of a problem. Very well named, isn't it? The ubiquitous quicksand. But environments like this are actually very interesting. One of the difficulties for the plants that live here is the extreme acidity of the ground here and the poor nutrients. And because of that, there are a few plants that really specialize in these conditions. The most interesting plant growing here is also one of the most beautiful, and that's this. This is the sundew.
A beautiful but deadly plant. The tips of these hairs look like little droplets of dew, but in fact, it's a glue. Any insects that land on the leaves become trapped, triggering the leaves to turn over and wrap themselves around the unfortunate victim before it's digested.
It's been estimated that over the course of a summer, a sundew like this may consume as many as 2,000 midges, making it one of the carnivorous secrets of the peat bog.
For lunch, I'm going to use the pollen I collected earlier. Not all pollen is safe to eat, but this reed mace pollen is a handy source of protein.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in a little pancake mix. I'll mix that in and just cook that up.
During the Second World War, when flour was in short supply, people from this area regularly added reed mace pollen to their flour ration to make it go further.
You get really good colour in the pancake because of the pollen. And that's it done. One pollen-enriched pancake. Absolutely delicious. Gives it a flavour and it's greatly improved its nutritional value.
After recharging my batteries, I'm ready to explore the rest of this wonderful wilderness. I'm still hoping to find some of the elusive otters that are said to thrive here, and I'll be discovering how these waters are home to one of nature's greatest adventurers, the eel. I'm in the wetlands of Somerset, a vast area of waterways, marshes and reed beds. This rich habitat is one of the most important sites of its kind in the world.
We hear a lot about, the wonders of the tropical rainforest and how much insect life there is there. But if you come out into an area like this on a hot summer's day, all you can actually hear around you is the sound of British insects. It's quite incredible what's here.
These lakes, ponds and streams are perfect habitat for dragonflies and also their cousins, the damselfly. This female damselfly is laying her eggs as she hovers over the water. She's being escorted by her mate, who literally hangs on to her to prevent other rogue males from getting a look in and fertilizing her eggs.
One of the real acrobats of the insect world, one of the most stunning displays has to be that put on by dragonflies. I find them absolutely fascinating to watch, quite astonishing creatures. And I'm about to meet a man who knows a lot more about them than I do.
Mark Steer, a conservationist with the Somerset Wildlife Trust, is an expert on these beautiful insects.
How are you getting on, Mark?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
They seem to me to be very gutsy insects.
They are indeed. They really are sort of the top predators of the insect world, especially around here. Each of their four wings moves independently, so they can flap their wings for maximum lift, maximum thrust, whether they want to go in reverse or forwards, and they can get up to speeds of over 50 miles an hour.
They have the most enormous eyes.
They do. They've got some of the largest eyes in the insect kingdom. They're called compound eyes, lots and lots of lenses. Now, something like a housefly would have maybe 3,000 lenses in each eye. A dragonfly has up to 30,000. It gives it amazing visual acuity. While I was doing my survey, I did find you this one.
Oh, look at that.
This is a male emperor dragonfly. I'll give you him and take her
Astonishing.
away.
Listen to the noise he makes.
Now,
you can actually feel the energy that this insect's got. I've often thought, the Spitfire has got to be the most beautiful aircraft, but these have got to be the most beautiful insects, aren't they?
They are absolutely fantastic.
I mean, they're perfection.
Both dragonflies and damselflies lay their eggs in or near water, often on floating plants. When the larva is ready to turn into an adult, they leave the safety of the water and climb up the reeds, where the exposure to air causes the larva to start breathing and shed its skin before turning into these beautiful creatures. Perfectly designed for speed and agility, some species have remained unchanged for 250 million years.
So this dragonfly spent 2 years underwater, has emerged and taken wing. What lies ahead?
Not a lot. He's got to the end of the summer to feed up, find a mate, She will lay her eggs, and then come the winter, not much future for either of them.
If this is the dragonfly's last tango, I think we ought to release him.
I think so, yep.
Let's see how he goes. Yeah, look, yeah, all right. We're going to let you out. We're going to let you out now. You've done your bit. Thank you very much for letting us have a closer look at you. Here. There, look at that. That's stunning. Here we go. Here we go.
There he goes.
Fantastic.
Here in the wetlands, these dragonflies play a vital part in the food chain.
Now there's the great threat to the dragonfly. That's a bird that can certainly handle it on the wing, no difficulty. That's a hobby.
Reaching speeds close to 100 miles an hour, these small falcons are a match for even the most agile prey. Hobbies hunt late in the evening, seeking insects which appear at dusk, as well as these returning swallows looking for reed beds to roost in.
Lovely markings, feathers just ruffling in the wind. Bright yellow talons. That's made my day.
And the day just keeps getting better.
Marsh harrier, beautiful shapes to the wings, you see them?
This marsh harrier is drifting over the reed beds and meadows, hoping to surprise its prey. Like the hobby, it's a great flyer, but its skill lies in flying at very slow speeds, making it easier to see any frogs or small mammals.
Well, really being treated to a display today.
The dramas played out here in the water and the skies draw me back to the wetlands year after year.
It's just an astonishing area. Wonderful.
There's something else here which I'm desperate to see. This is perfect otter country. Otters are at the top of the food chain, so any sign of them here is a healthy indicator that these wetlands are flourishing. But finding an otter is not going to be easy. I'll need to return at dusk when they're more active. There are hundreds of miles of waterways, and the River Parrett is one of the main rivers here. It's also one of the main highways for an extraordinary creature living beneath these waters.
All right then, Pete, shall we see what you've got?
Let's see what we've got.
Peter Sibley from the Environment Agency has an interesting catch to show me.
So we've had these fyke nets in overnight, certainly hoping.
There we go. Oh, yes. That's promising. Look at that. Fantastic. I think eels are one of the most amazing animals on the planet.
We're particularly interested in eels in this country at the moment because they've undergone this massive drop in population, probably 95% crash since the 1980s and before. So it's crunch time now for this species in Europe and in this country.
Should we have a look at what you've got?
Got it.
Got him.
Eels are incredible animals and an essential part of the wetlands.
Calm down.
These have travelled over 4,000 miles from the Sargasso Sea near the Bahamas just to get to this point. An amazing journey that sees them evolving from seawater larvae to freshwater elvers.
So the eels are here for some time, aren't they?
Yeah, they're here for 15 or 20 years or so, and they'll stay there and feed up for all that time in freshwater.
This is a mystery, isn't it? Is that
Yeah.
after 15 or 20 years, suddenly there's this overwhelming urge to return to where they were spawned.
And then they go through a process that we call silvering, and basically they're preparing for life in the ocean. So they start to reabsorb their digestive tract, they've fattened up, and at that point they'll head out down the river into the estuary and across they go over towards the Sargasso.
They really are a creature with a tremendously strong spirit. I can't help but respect them. So I guess time now is to release them, but when you think they have the most adventurous of lives, don't they? And these eels have also become television stars. So just another adventure on their journey.
With dusk approaching, these wetlands begin to take on a totally different atmosphere. This is my best chance of seeing an otter, but it's going to be a waiting game.
I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those days.
And then just when it seems I'm out of luck, I spot something.
Hang on. I think there might be a fish, I don't know.
An otter gliding through the water, out on patrol.
That's lovely. Beautiful. Just going to get in the sunshine there. Lovely. It's a sight that was once very common in Britain, and then there was a decline in the otter population. We used to hunt otters, but that really wasn't the main problem. I think the main problem was the loss of habitat and pollution. So I'm glad to say that they are returning and finding their way into rivers where they haven't been seen for generations. Lovely. Great to watch.
There's nothing more rewarding than seeing a wild otter in this landscape. For me, it's a symbol of how we might all live in harmony with nature.
Welcome to the Ender Ice Challenge.
This is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous, so dangerous.
This looks really scary.
Under the ice, which is a metre thick.
And then there were three. It's the final of 71 Degrees North tomorrow night at 9. Molly's shocked and adamant that she will not agree to Kevin's demand. We're back in Corrie after the break.